Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is June 7th, 2018, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the economic events of the day, starting out earlier this morning, 3:30 South African time, trade balance out of Australia. We'll take a look at the Australian dollar in just a moment, and then later today at 5:15 South African time, Governor Poloz will be speaking, and that's from the Bank of Canada. We'll take a look at the Canadian dollar as well. But lots happening in the market, so let's take a look. So we're jumping here into the Euro USD trading at 118.03. Okay, a nice rally between the last couple of days from 116.91 to 118. Okay, now the question is where we're going to go from here. Okay, a nice rally just this morning, and just remember there's a little bit of a resistance at 118.19 level. Okay, if we do breach that, the next real level is 118.80. Now this particular trading pair has got to do a lot more than that in order to correct itself. I think we will continue this, rally. May not be in the next couple of days, but I think we'll continue this rally up to 119. I think 120 is going to be a real resistance level, for us to breach above it. But this kind of correctional move in reaction to the Dow Jones correctional move is all happening all at the same time. So it's kind of incidental that we're finally breaking this out and we're having that V formation that we were talking about. We had this little, if we look at a line chart, we would actually see this as being a bull candle right down here, okay, and this being this nice rally. We're still below the 30-day average, okay, so we do have some catching up to do still, okay. So with that said, just be aware that, with the certain velocity, it could, very well still, trade off a little bit and then correct itself and trade off a little bit and correct itself. So, just keep that in mind. Now, looking at the GBP USD, not as strong, okay, not as big of a rally, okay, as you can see here on the daily chart, it doesn't look as, as steep. We didn't go as many pips on the GBP versus the USD vis-a-vis the Euro versus the USD, okay. Now, so we have a little bit of a catch up here to play as well. But so far, the fact that it's correcting itself is a major thing. So keep that in mind. So it's very similar to where the Euro is doing. And jumping onto the Aussie USD, which started this whole thing, we're kind of faltering here at 76. So, the leader becomes the lagger here. So you got to look for some sort of, momentum and some sort of signal to trade us higher. Okay, the only thing that we have right now is that we're short covering over the massive slide that we've had from 123-ish level down to a high 115-ish level. Okay, so with that said, that's on the Euro, of course. With that said, we're looking for some sort of a significant trading range for us to be in, and I think that's where we're going to be in. So right here we're hitting a little bit of a resistance level, previous support, as you can see here, and actually I'd like to mimic that. That was previous resistance, previous support, subsequent support. So this may be actually a resistance level right here. So you may look at that later today to see if that does freight as we continue our days in trading. Looking at the Canadian dollar, we've been trading really in a range between 130 and 128.5-ish, I would say. Okay, so we really haven't broken above this or below this. So, with the price of oil getting a little bit stronger, I would have imagined that we'd been in the low 20s, maybe in the teens, but that's not happening. Okay, that might be indicative of the current economic status in Canada. So there's a little bit of a stagnation there, and you can see that in the currency as well. So keep that in mind. So far, when Governor Poloz will be speaking, there's resistance at 130.48-ish if we do rally to that point, and there is support at 126.82. So we may really see ourselves trading between these 2 points as the week progresses. Now, we haven't covered the Turkish lira in a couple of days. It's kind of like faltered here from the massive, depreciation against the dollar to 491, and now we're kind of subsiding at 454. Now they are having elections at the end of the month, and there's a lot going on in Turkey. So, I'm going to put this in the back burner for now, but nothing really to write home about. Okay, so until something breaks out on the upside or the downside and becomes a little bit more interesting, I'll perk up to trade it. But right now, as you can see, it's really just settled. So has the price of gold. Oil is pretty much yesterday a just a non-event trading at $65 a barrel. We've receded, like we've mentioned, from $73, as you can see here, and we're just at this level, and we're just hovering around it. So question is, are we going to breach it? Are we going to correct it? Are we going to bounce off of it? That's the next, that's the next real, play that I would be looking in the price of oil. Now, when Forex pairs are not trading, you could trade the commodities. When commodities aren't trading, you could trade the indices. The indices not trading, you could trade the stocks. Okay, there's always something going on in the markets. With that said, we mentioned this earlier yesterday. Dow Jones, 25,000 was a pivotal point for it to break, and sure enough, breached it with some power. Okay, 25,172. I am still very optimistic on the upside. I'm still biased on the upside. I still think that we're going to continue rallying. Just the question is, will this then, come into the 25,000 point and then rally above it? That's the next question. Are we going to just be, where are we going to be trading? Okay, or we're going to have a correctional move. We've breached this a couple of times before, but these levels were never really challenged, okay? But we've challenged this level on a couple of occasions, as you can see right here. That was several locations that we tried to breach it, and that was another location that we tried to breach it. The other times that we breached it right here was really just trying to find our footing after this massive slide that we had back in the end of February, mid-February-ish time. So with that said, I'm very biased on the upside. I still think that we're gonna, somewhere close in on this 26,000, just a matter of time. Okay, are we going to first, sell off a little bit, hold the support level, and then challenge it, or are we going to trade within a range? Okay, that's something to be said, and that's something that you'll have to keep an eye also on the stocks to see what they're doing. And with that said, if we look at Apple computers, okay, this is Apple stock, you see that it's breaking out all-time highs, 93,081. Okay, so all together, if Apple is going to carry the market up, okay, it may very well do that. Okay, Apple's been known to do that. It's a very, very significant stock in the United States. Obviously, one of the largest company in the world. So, if it's breaking out higher on the upside, there could be continued momentum and bias momentum that's going to bring the rest of the market up as well. So that has happened. It's called relative strength, and it's a leading indicator versus a lagging indicator. In this case, it's Apple that's leading the way, and that does happen. Okay, so just be aware of it. Whereas Google and Facebook and some of the others that we've been looking were really flirting with, their upper range or looking for a breakout, but they never broke out. So this actually perked my attention this morning that it broke out yesterday, while Facebook and Google were just faltering and just, trading close to their highs, but not at their highs. Okay, we're not breaking out higher. Okay, as you can see here, we're trading under 1135 in Google and not really breaking above 1172. So that would have really been my go-to there to see if it would broke out. But in this case, Apple is actually breaking out. So that's something to keep an eye on. Looking at the DAX, we rallied back to 12,893. Like to see it break above, okay, and this is a little bit of a resistance here. I'd like to see it break above 13,000, okay. As we've mentioned, we had this little resistance, previous support, okay, also previous support, okay. So this is a pivotal moment for the DAX to see if it does go out, at least in the summertime, with a little bit of a breakout, okay. That looks like the Dow Jones is going first, and, we may see a sell-off there, and then, the DAX will take lead and break out. So that's something to keep an eye out as later today continues to trade. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.